Hello, fellow students. My name is Sharon Sapolnik, and I live in Saline, Michigan, which is right outside of Ann Arbor, Michigan. I did my site visit at St. Luke's Hospital, which is in Maumee, Ohio, which is right outside of Toledo, Ohio. And I met with Barb Tipping, who is the manager of the medical records department at that facility. I would like to share with you some information first and foremost that Barb shared with me at the beginning of my meeting with her. St. Luke's Hospital is currently under a possible merger with ProMedica Health System within Toledo, Ohio. This merger has been placed on hold by the Federal Trade Commission because they are alleging that if this hospital merges with ProMedica Health System, that it will create a monopoly on patient care services when it comes to hospitals within the Toledo area. So this has also affected the department. Things have been put on hold and they're not quite sure what will happen in the future because of things being put on hold with the merger between St. Luke's and ProMedica. So I would like to say that. I know I will talk to you about scanning at this facility. They do use a hybrid medical record. This department only has one scanner, and they have tried to acquire a second scanner in case something happens to their scanner, but they have not been getting approval for another scanner, and I think that this merger has something to do with it, how everything's being placed on hold for now. Another thing is that currently they're not really making major moves towards an electronic medical record at this time because of the merger. However, they will be moving towards having EHR because they will have to meet the meaningful use criteria in 2015. So I thought that was important to tell you that. Anyway, I met with Barb, and this hospital, St. Luke's Hospital, is a 202-bed facility. It's located in pretty much a rural area. This facility offers emergency services, inpatient and outpatient services. They have inpatient and outpatient surgeries. They offer oncology, cardiology, orthopedic services. They do have a labor and delivery department there. They offer radiology services and other imaging services that they may need, along with nuclear medicine. And they offer rehabilitation and wound care. This facility treats mainly the elderly who are in Medicare, and the average length of stay for the patients at this hospital is 4 days. As I said, they have a hybrid medical record, so they have a combination of paper as well as electronic medical records. The medical records are collected every morning from the floors for any patients that were discharged the day before. They also collect every morning outpatient surgery charts from the day before, and they collect any charts from the emergency department from the day before. These charts are brought to the medical records department and logged in. Barb told me that once they go over to be scanned, they are again logged in. And once the charts are scanned and uploaded, they're bundled up, boxed up, logged out, and stored for a period of 3 months before those paper records are shredded. So I sat with Jen, and I was able to observe her scan a few charts. At this particular hospital, they use forms that are barcoded. However, some of the forms that they use are ProMedica forms, and those forms are not barcoded, so they need to go through and add headers and footers to the non-barcoded forms within the medical record. Jen goes through, prepares the chart, removes any staples, paper clips. She tapes any torn pages. She puts the chart on the scanner. The chart is scanned. She goes through the chart and makes sure that each and every page has been scanned and is readable. And as she's going through, she's verifying that each page of the document has the patient name and medical record number on it. And that's her chart review. Once the chart review is done, she uploads the chart into the computer. And the software that they use with their hybrid system is the ChartMax, and they all seem to like it. They all seem to think it's user friendly. I also was able to sit down with someone and watch her do a chart analysis, and she was going through the chart. She was able to electronically mark any deficiencies that she found in the chart. She then was able to send the communication about the deficiencies electronically to the clinician, and the clinician is able to correct those deficiencies remotely and then simply electronically send them back to the department. This particular person is also the trauma registrar for the hospital. The hospital does not get severe trauma cases. Any severe trauma cases are sent to other area hospitals. So I asked her about what kind of traumas they typically see there. So they typically see motor vehicle accidents, motorcycle accidents, slip and falls, and farm injuries, farm traumas. And whenever I sat with her, she told me that she uses a ranking system whenever she goes through and makes her registry. The injuries are ranked according to the abbreviated injury scale, an AIS scale. This is a scale from 1 to 6, 1 being a minor injury, 6 being an unsurvivable injury. This scale represents the threat to life from, based on the trauma, and it's not a representation of the severity of the trauma. She goes through the 10th of each month, goes through all the different trauma cases and takes care of them in the computer. Then she told me that quarterly, she then has to send the trauma cases to the state of Ohio. She herself is not certified or credentialed, which I was kind of surprised. This leads me to my discussion with Barb about having people in the department that were either certified or credentialed, and she really doesn't have people with a lot of credentialing in the department. The people in the department have a lot of longevity, 15, 20 years and more. There's one person that's just been there over 5 years, but they don't have anyone there with less than 5 years experience. There are 2 CPCs and 1 inpatient certified coder. I would also like to talk a little bit about my discussion with her with the transition to ICD-10. They, of course, have had training on that. This summer, a number of the staff went for 2-week training, and she said, within the training, they also were learning anatomy and physiology. So obviously, they're going to, learn about all the very specific things with the new coding. And she said that there were some members of the department that had only had 3-day coding, 3-day training. So that's something they're working on and will continue, to work on, so that when ICD-10 is implemented next October, they will be ready. I know I mentioned about things being put on hold. I told you about the scanner. The other thing is I talked to Barb about the transition to EHR. Right now, they don't really have a lot in the works to do that, but as she said, that they will eventually make the transition to that because they'll have to meet the meaningful use criteria by 2015. So anyway, well, I hope that I have shared something with you about my visit that you may not have known. And I look forward to watching your videos and learning something about your visit. Thank you very much.